Hello! Welcome back to my channel and to a slightly different video this time around. It's something I've been wanting to do for a while and it's sort of serious, so I want my pom-poms to lighten the mood a little bit. Let's just get into it. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good day, good everything. Today I want to talk about something that, yes, I've been planning for a while because it's just such a big part of my life, and I thought it'd be really interesting to talk about it because I know other people also need this or use this for their lives. Okay, so no more suspense. Basically, what I want to talk about today is the autoimmune protocol diet, or the AIP as I'm going to call it from here on out. It is a special diet, but not really focused on weight loss. Like, that's the main thing. It's more of a way of eating than like a diet. I don't really like the term diet because it has such a negative connotation in my head, and that's not really what this is about. This is, like I said, is the autoimmune protocol, so it is made for autoimmune disorders. This could be hypothyroidism or like diabetes or psoriasis. There's like all the autoimmune disorders. I'm not an expert by any means, so I'm not gonna go into that. But yeah, I have been on the protocol a little on and off since I believe it was September or August. I think it was August actually. And I started out, well, actually let me explain what the protocol is about. Yeah, let's do that first. So basically, if you want to know what the AIP diet is, you basically take paleo, which is already very restrictive, and then you put more restrictions onto that, and then you get AIP. It's really restrictive, and it's very daunting to start out. Here in Denmark, like, paleo is becoming a little more like known, but I think a lot of people would also know it by its other name, like the Stone Age diet. So basically that you would eat foods that were around in the Stone Age. So the main focus is like whole foods and like good quality meats from like good welfare farms, I suppose. So like also that chickens aren't like pumped full of like antibiotics and all this stuff. So it's more than just what you eat, is also the quality of what you eat. Yeah, it's daunting, like I said. Oh, another thing that's important, which I didn't mention, is that on paleo as well and AIP, you don't eat anything with like preservatives or additives or anything like that. And if you go and look at the back of pretty much any food product, you will see that they have a lot of preservatives, additives. Here we call them like the E numbers, so it'd be like E410 or something like that. I don't know if that's how it works everywhere, but that's definitely how we do it here. So you need to watch out for that as well. Okay, but more like specifically what AIP restricts, which is really the big one. Yeah, what it restricts are nightshades, are like a big one, and nightshades are something like tomatoes, bell peppers, and potatoes. So normal potatoes, no. Sweet potatoes, yes. So it's not all that, but I do sometimes miss normal potatoes. Okay, anyway, it's also, there's no nuts, there's no seeds, there's no grains. That really cuts out a lot of stuff that I like to eat. Again, that is where it differs from paleo, because I don't believe that everything is that restricted on paleo. It's similar how on AIP there is no eggs, which I know is a big thing in paleo. However, now that I've mentioned all the restrictions, I will just say that it's not that you're meant to eat this way forever. The AIP is an elimination diet, which means that after a specific amount of time, however long it takes for you to feel better, for you to see real improvement, then you are meant to start reintroducing things. And as for the reintroduction, I know that there is a set kind of way of doing it. There's 4 groups and you're meant to kind of do them one by one. The way you do it, I mean, it is a lot of work, because first you have to spend, well, I was on it for around 2 months before I felt like I could start doing that. And it's like, I was starting first with like egg whites. No, egg yolks even. I don't know why. Can I just tell you, this is a side note, but if you make scrambled eggs just with egg yolk, it doesn't taste good, and I don't recommend it to anyone because it's just nasty, to be honest. Okay, anyway, yeah, so I started with like egg yolks, and then basically what you do, first you take like a teaspoon, you taste it, and then you wait like 15 minutes, see if you have any immediate reactions. Then you do it again, and you wait like an hour. It differs from like what people feel. And then if there's nothing there, you take another one, or you take a tablespoon. Like the rules, again, it differs. That's kind of how I did it. And you take that, and then you wait, you know, at least 24 hours, see how you're kind of reacting to everything. And yeah, if you get no reactions after all that, then you should be good. But it might be worth actually trying it again, just to make sure that it wasn't like, I don't know, because that was the thing for me. Like, I wouldn't have a reaction, but then I would try the thing again, and then I would have a reaction. And I don't feel like I did anything really differently between those times, so I'm a little confused about how it really works. I don't know, maybe the one day I was just more susceptible to it. I don't know. I'm not an expert. I'm just telling you my experience with it, by the way, if that isn't clear. Just my experience, not an expert. Also, when I started the reintroduction phase, I did start out kind of following the schedule, but I just found that the stuff that I was meant to reintroduce wasn't really things that I typically would eat anyway, and it didn't really make sense for me to follow it. So I kind of just did my own thing, and obviously I don't recommend that either, because, you know, people are really different and they react differently to stuff. So, you know, I'm not recommending that. But yeah, I would try like rice. It's white rice in the beginning, and I felt okay with that. I did some like lactose-free dairy products. I seem mostly okay with that too. And the last one that I tried was eggs, just like the whole egg, not just the egg yolk, because I got tired of that really quick. So yeah, didn't do that for long. Those were the main ones that I had reintroduced before I kind of fell out with AIP. And I mean, it seems a bit silly to say that it was due to health reasons, but I just had kind of a setback in my health, and I wasn't able to keep up with, you know, making every single meal every day. Like I would be in the kitchen for like at least 4 or 5 hours every day. I would just wake up and I would make like breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and I tried to make ahead, but I still somehow spent so much time in the kitchen, and like I was at a point where getting out of bed was a struggle for me, because I had these weird like neck pains. It has mostly been resolved now, like it's a lot better, so I am at a different place. But yeah, that's kind of why I fell out. I was trying to still hold on to a lot of the principles, just not as strict, and that's still what I'm kind of doing now. The main groups that I'm avoiding right now, which is stuff that I usually just avoid, but it is gluten. Everything gluten is just not good for me. I react very strongly to gluten, and yeah, I just need to stay away from it, and it sucks, but it sucks because I am such a big bread fan. Like, I love bread. I eat like bread just by itself, and you can't do that with gluten-free bread because it's not nice. Yeah, but anyway, I lost my train of thought. Gluten is the first one. I also avoid lactose as much as possible, and I reduce my sugar intake as much as I can, which is tough because, you know, I went completely without sugar except for like natural sugars and fruit and stuff, but I also tried to limit that. So I went from no sugar to kind of, oh, you can have a little bit and a little bit and a little bit, and yeah, it just kind of kept going. However, one other point that I want to make, I did lose a little bit of weight when I started AIP. After a little while, it took a while, and then I like lost a little bit of weight, 6 kg or something, and I have kept that off, which is pretty amazing, especially after I stopped AIP. So yeah, that was a nice side effect. I mean, it wasn't something I was attempting because that wasn't my main focus. Like, obviously I'd like to lose weight because I gained so much weight after my diagnosis, and I haven't been able to like get it like off again. Like, it's so difficult. So, you know, there was one very nice side effect or whatever. However, I feel like when I take into account all the work that I did, like the hours in the kitchen, the hours like researching recipes, going to the shop, the money, I'm not really sure the way that I felt justified like all that work. I did see improvement, I definitely did, but just not enough to the point where I'm like, you know, this really had a tremendous impact. But it, I mean, to be fair, it was also because of the back pain and the neck pain that I say that. I'm not sure if that hadn't happened, whether I would have continued. I probably would have. Okay, a lot of talking. Oh, there was another thing I wanted to mention. Along with the restrictions of AIP, I have some of my own restrictions as well. For example, while I was on the diet, I found out that I react really strongly to coconut. And for anyone who is on that diet, they will know that that really ruins your experience because so many things uses coconut. Coconut oil, coconut flour, coconut sugar, like coconut like pieces, I don't know, like shredded coconut. There's so much of it, and you can make so much like better stuff. Like, there's like coconut milk is in everything, and I can't have it. I just can't have it. It's awful. But there's something like broccoli and cauliflower I react strongly to as well. So I try to avoid that. And yeah, there was a lot of restrictions. And as I said, I'm trying my best to kind of keep some of the principles within what I'm eating now. But it is really tough to do. And I always read that it didn't really make sense to not do strict AIP, but that is the only thing that makes sense for me right now. My symptoms aren't as bad as they were before, so I have to assume that the little bit that I'm doing is still helping. At least I hope so. Okay, I think that was the end of my long rant speech, whatever, about this. I definitely recommend people try this out if they do have an autoimmune disorder that, you know, is really affecting their lives, because usually your doctor will just tell you like, oh, well, there's nothing you can do other than take your medication. And I don't know, I kind of got fed up with that because I wasn't feeling better and I wanted to try and do something for myself. So yeah, I definitely recommend it. It does take a lot of time, it does take a lot of money and a lot of effort and energy, and that is really tough when you don't feel well, but I think for some people it's really worth it. So yeah, it's definitely worth a shot. Okay. Yeah, I am gonna end the video now. I've talked enough and I need to go get some breakfast. Okay, I just wanted to show at the end here a little example of what you can have for breakfast. This is like a carrot, apple, and bacon hash, and there's also onion in it, but I feel like that's what it's called. So yeah, this is really nice. I really like this. So thank you so much for watching. I hope that you found this video entertaining or informative. Is that what you said? Informative? Yeah, informative. And yeah, if you are considering AIP, definitely do it. It's a lot of work, but I think it's worth it for the most part. Okay. Thank you for watching once again. Stay safe and stay talking. Bye.